Welcome to Lembeh Straits, the world's premier destination for muck diving. Lembeh's combination of location and habitat give it the highest concentration of rare marine creatures in the world. In this video, we are going to share some techniques with you that will both enhance your dives and help us protect a fragile environment for future generation of muck divers. It is important to be a good citizen of the underwater world, even if you are only a temporary one. The underwater marine environment is a very beautiful but fragile place. Sand or rubble bottoms that might look barren and uninhabited can be full of marine life. Just because the bottom is sandy, don't think that you can land anywhere you want without inspecting the landing zone first. It's not just the marine life we want to protect, it's you too. Many things that live in the sand can sting or bite in self-defense. Avoid grabbing anything with your hands to stabilize yourself. The worst reef grabbing offenders are divers with gloves. Glove wearers frequently don't even look at where they are touching or grabbing because they think they are protected. But a stinger like a devilfish or scorpionfish has no problem penetrating gloves with its venomous dorsal spines. A safer way to stabilize yourself is with a stainless steel pointer. They are useful in sandy or mucky bottoms and also give you an easy way to push off. When you push off with the pointer, let your momentum drift you a safe distance back before you start kicking with your fins. Never use your pointer to harass creatures. Poking and prodding a critter is not allowed under any circumstances. Muck divers must also be very careful of what their fins are doing. Your fin tips should not hit or dislodge anything while you are swimming. Even the water turbulence from your fins can damage fragile creatures and can ruin visibility by stirring up the bottom. If you are overweighted and try to hover above the bottom by kicking your fins, you will just stir up huge clouds of sediment. A properly weighted diver shouldn't have to use fins to stay in a stationary position. You should be able to depart from an area without stirring up a huge cloud of silt. Good muck diving technique involves two basic principles. Keep your nose close to the bottom so that you can find tiny creatures, and keep your fins away from the bottom to avoid mucking things up. Try to stay off the bottom as much as possible. If you can hover without touching down, you will have the least impact. If you must touch down on the bottom, be careful where you make contact. Try to minimize contact, keep your fins up off the bottom, and stay as still as possible. Make sure you are not kicking your fins when you are trying to stay still. The best way to be still is to stay still. You should also make sure that you don't have any dangling gear. Gauges or alternate air sources dragging on the bottom can cause damage. Sometimes just looking at a tiny creature might scare it half to death. It must be like a sci-fi movie with gigantic aliens on a rampage, except it's not a movie, it's real. Be considerate of the little creatures that live in an environment of perpetual twilight. They are not used to bright lights or flashes. Blasting them dozens of times can leave them temporarily blinded or disoriented and vulnerable. Try to limit yourself to a reasonable number of exposures of a creature. Influencing the behavior of marine creatures to get the good shot is discouraged. Your dive guide is trained and experienced in the behaviors of the residents of Lembeh Straits. They may be able to assist you in getting a subject into a good position and keeping it there without undue stress on the creature. Please don't encourage your dive guide to go beyond what they know is safe for the creature. The guides want you to be able to see and photograph rare creatures, but they don't want to hurt or endanger those creatures in the process. If you are an underwater photographer, please be careful with your housing and lights. When working close to a tiny subject, make sure that you don't injure it with your equipment. Treating the reef and creatures with respect is only half of your responsibility as a good muck diver. You need to treat your fellow divers and fellow underwater photographers properly too. Share subjects with other underwater photographers. Get a couple good shots, then quickly back out without disturbing the setup and let one of the other divers get a couple good shots too. By sharing, everyone will get a chance for a good photo. With a little care and consideration, everyone can enjoy the magical creatures of Lembeh Strait. By diving responsibly, you can help us protect this special environment and enjoy it again on future dive vacations.